We went outside and I walked my dog for a while, and he decided that it's not enough. He wants to spend some time on my lap. So before I get to knit on the sweater, yeah, and that's my cat destroying stuff in my apartment. So the whole gang is here. Oh my god, I was outside and it was a bit cold, so I have to put on lipstick. I'm out of what's the name of that lipstick? Chopsticks. I'm out of chopsticks, so whatever I can add to keep my lips not cracking, I'm adding it because tomorrow I have to go to work. I have to look presentable. So okay, so let's hang out a little bit before I put you on a on that mobile holder which I got, and it's completely very weak. It's not holding my phone very well. This, I had to put my hair thingy to hold it because this doesn't hold the weight of my phone. So, and that's all I have for now. My throat really hurts. My dog wants attention, but I really want to finish this sweater so that I can give it to my brother as soon as possible. I'm kind of tired of it. I'm kind of over it. The good thing is that my brother tried it on the street the other day. We met for a few minutes and he tried it on, and thank God it's not too much wide, too much long. It's pretty good on him. The only issue was the sleeves. So now I'm working on the sleeves. Okay, let's move my dog a bit. Let's move him. Let's bring him some snackity snack. Snackity snack. Snackity snack. Snackity snack. Snackity snackity snack. Snuggly snuck. Snuggly snuck. Snug snug snug. We've been snuggling all day basically because I was just in bed. I feel like I could speak, but also when I do it hurts. So, and tomorrow I start a new week of work, new client, new location. I'm going to work in this big presidential palace. So I really need to get myself back. I really need to do something and just like fix my whole health so that tomorrow I am in top. I am in sharp. Wait, how's it? You see, I can't even find my words. Let me think. I need to support my body today so that tomorrow I am in top notch position. Oh, hi everybody. Hi Clint. So this is, as I said, this is a knitting channel, so I'm gonna knit in a bit. It's just that my throat is still hurting. Hi Clint, thank you for the compliment. Andrew Wary no Nostrovia, I don't know what that is. Okay, let's see. I also have Clint, where are you from? I'm from Chisinau, Moldova. This is next to Ukraine and Romania. So pretty Eastern Europeans are over here. Hi Sophie, hello. And I don't know about you, but when I have a sore throat, fuzzy water helps me. I know it's silly. I'm supposed to be drinking tea and like medicine, and I do have medicine and everything, but still I love orange soda. It's my go-to to get hydrated. How are you today, Sophie? Thank you. I've lost my voice yesterday and the day before yesterday, and I'm taking it very easy today because tomorrow I have to work. I have a new client, new conference, and I need to get back into shape. Clint, wow, you're so beautiful. Are you single? Wow, thank you. Nice bed. Can you show us what it looks like outside in Eastern Europe? Well, I just came from the outside, but sure. Let me show you my balcony first. This is my balcony. I am preparing a bag to send my mom some goodies, so you will see these sorts of bags everywhere in Eastern Europe. Hold on. Maybe I can rotate you. Yep. So this is my the thing for putting the clothes to dry. This is how my outside looks like. My neighbor is walking his dog over there. Um, not everybody, not anyone around. Oh, there are some street dogs over there. Right over there, there's some homeless people. This is two dogs that we sterilized or just paid for it because we don't want any more puppies that are in our street. This is the other side of my balcony, all the plants, exotic plants that I hoard from all the places. This is my cat Nikita. When I walk my dog, my cat Nikita also walks with us. And by the way, this is my piano after my cat pushed all the papers, so I have to collect the papers. And this is my dog. And by the way, as I said, this is a knitting channel, so I knitted this blanket, which I use every single day. I knitted this blanket. There are needles everywhere in this apartment. Okay, let me put you up there. Oh, hi. He looks like my cat. I like it. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Where are you sailing to? Nice doggy. Thank you, guys. Seen worse. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the world is full of places, good and bad. I was, hold up, before I go, I was volunteering to help out some older couple who had like 20 dogs, so their house was just a hoarder paradise plus the dogs and the cat. So yeah, I can believe that you have seen worse. Thank you for the comments. Okay. Okay, my boy. Okay, my boy. So my dog will sit with me for a bit. Usually he does. Let's turn on something interesting to watch. I'm gonna have another pill for my throat, and today I am at the last, and I'm at the second and last, wait, sleeve. I finished the sleeve yesterday. I worked until 1 a.m. to have it. Oh, wait, hold on. I worked until 1 a.m. to have it this way. I know it doesn't look very nice. I don't know what I did with the increases and with the decreases. I thought that I worked symmetrically, but it looks kind of rough. So I'm hoping that blocking will take away these harsh lines, but that's it. I'm not redoing it. It's the 6th time. I'm ready to move on. Let's put my hair. Let's put my hair back so it doesn't get caught. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, 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 buddy. Okay, let's bring you a snack because I feel like you're gonna sit. Ti mangiarino? Ti si mangia? Mangiarino? Okay, guys, I have to bring him a snack. And also I can show you. I can, hold on. I can show you the sweater. It is this big. Quite big, I would say. It is for my brother, my oldest brother. Oh my God, my hair is falling out of my head. Oh shoot, what am I doing? Oh no, I pressed on something. Did I broke? Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Does your dog partake in DD partake? I don't know what that means. Hello, beautiful. Hi. Deep Europe. Hi. Hello. Come on, my baby. Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's give you some snacks. Ci si mangia? Mangia? Ci si mangia? Ci si mangia? Come. Come. Mangiarino. Тиня Галя. Ci si Manja. Come. There you go. Okay, snacks covered. Oh my god, what is happening? Oh, hold on. Snacks covered. I swear to god, my couch is just like my dog's life. Do you make sweater for your dog ever? Yes, yes, I love to do it. I did make, I think, 2 sweaters for him, and he wore it just once because it's not cold. In my country, it's not that cold, and he is not cold, so he doesn't really appreciate it. But I do make like blankets, mini blankets for the animal shelter. So I think that the animals at the animal shelter appreciate those better because they live outside in the kennels. Guys, I apologize. My throat is hurting really bad. So I will try and speak, but not so much. Also, orange soda is my jam. Orange soda is my life. Orange soda is my friend. Okay, let's do some knitting up in this house. This sweater, this sleeve is not gonna sleeve up itself. Hold on. So, if you have been here before, you know that I'm doing the fisherman rib stitch. And you know that it's taking me so much time. I've been knitting on this sweater, let me think. I've been knitting on this sweater since September maybe? Yeah, September. So it takes me so long. This is why, guys, if somebody makes you a handmade gift, you see the proof that it takes ages. Okay. Ages. Okay, let's put on, I don't want to annoy you with my raspy voice, so let's put on something interesting to watch. Okay. Let's see, an experiment in patience. I would love to watch this girl. She's really talented. I feel like there's some people who are very talented and charismatic, and they could talk about whatever and I would listen. And this girl is one of those people. So I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit. And let's see.
Where did I put that box of yarn? Okay, seriously, which one is it? Found it? Okay, time to set up the shot. Yeah, the ottoman does not go with the color scheme. Alright, set this up until it looks like an IKEA showroom. Am I showing too much leg? Wait, the shot's not even in focus. Okay, that's better. Still too much leg. I've got this.
Yeah, that's how we all think when we try to film.
In one of my earlier videos, when I was recreating a TV show or movie knit piece, someone left a comment that was incredibly sweet, and it just fueled me from an inspiration standpoint. They had requested that I recreate the crochet like sweater vest top from the movie Butterflies Are Free. And well, I absolutely love that top, and I spent 6 hours planning out a video, prepping how I would recreate it, doing measurements, ordering yarn. It's been 6, 7, 8 months, and I still haven't worked up any sort of motivation to do it. And then about a month ago, I sort of gave myself permission not to do it. That's because I love that piece, but I would never wear it. I think it's really cute. I would totally make it for a friend, but I would never make it for myself. So I am really sorry to that person. I think I had more fun in the planning stage with that one. The good thing that came out of that is I now had a huge collection of yarn with a really cohesive color palette, and it's the same color palette as the crochet top in Butterflies Are Free. Now, I'm relatively new to crocheting garments. I've been knitting garments for a couple years now, and I've been knitting items for a decade and a half. And I think one of the issues with crochet is I was unwilling to use my nice yarn on crochet, and that was a huge problem because it meant that I wasn't fully in love with any crochet piece that I had made. And so this is really my love letter to crochet in saying, here's my nice yarn and I'm ready to use it for you. I'm going all in. Let's do this. I'd like to formally introduce you to the yarn that I will be using. When I first got involved in the online knitting and crochet community, which I didn't even know existed until 12 years into my life of knitting, a lot of the knitting YouTubers were ecstatic about Knitting for Olive, and I just kept hearing about Knitting for Olive over and over and over again. If you don't know, Knitting for Olive is a yarn brand, and it is in the, what I would say, the median range as far as yarn goes. I think you have like the lower end, nothing wrong with it, big box store, big craft store, highly mass produced. And then on the mid level, you would have something like this. It's still somewhat mass produced, but it's a little bit higher in quality. It's a bit more expensive, but it's also not like an indie hand dyer either. I knew I wanted to start with their merino, especially because I have said this 100 times and people are probably sick of hearing it. I have sensitive skin, and so I just didn't want to risk anything super itchy. And I also wanted this to be drapey because I know that crochet creates a slightly thicker fabric than knitting does typically, even when working in the same gauge. And so I wanted to make sure that I was using a really fine yarn, and I believe that this is actually fingering weight yarn. And I wanted something that would have at least a little bit of drape to it, so nothing with like a cotton or plant-based fiber. So that led me to spending a lot of money on Knitting for Olive yarn. I adore this color palette, and I'm really thankful for the Butterflies Are Free Vest for the color palette inspiration, because these are never colors that I would have paired together. It's just not colors I would have ordered in a bundle, but I think they look absolutely fantastic together. So I actually bought more of these than I intend to use. So two colors that I don't plan on using is the Licorice, which is a very solid black color, and then we have the Oatmeal color. As my base color to give this a cohesive feel, I'm using the Sky Cloud color. Here is Dark Ochre, and this is just a beautiful saturated color that scares me a little bit. Like, it's a kind of a greenish yellow, which are colors that are not incorporated in my wardrobe at all. But I love this, especially for fall. I will say this whole thing is a very autumnal color palette, and it's like a moody autumn. And then it pairs so well with this one, which is Dusty Honey. I like that they give these fun names instead of just numbers. I mean, they all have numbers too, but these two colors go really well together. I can't find the tag for this, but it's just a very light sandy beige color. I bought a ton of different blues. This is Bordeaux, absolutely lovely, and I think it goes so well with all the other colors in here. These colors go so great together. And then we have this one, which is Robin. I should make something that matches this dress in this like Robin color. How cute would that be? A sweater to go over this dress? No, one project at a time. So I think that's all the colors. My personal favorites would be this color palette right here. The two yellows, the Bordeaux, the blue tit, and the Robin red. They're just beautiful. They go so well together, and I love the range of saturation. Now, as far as the actual granny squares go, I have decided, well, with the help of my mother, I really enlisted her help on this one because I was so indecisive. What I didn't know is if I wanted each square to be different or if I wanted them all to look exactly the same. And I also didn't know if I wanted them all to have the same colored border or go completely different on the border. And after talking with her, I felt very certain in the decision to go with all of them having a white border. That way they just have like a cohesive look. I looked at hundreds of images of granny square cardigans and sweaters, and I really liked the ones that had the same color border, but I also really liked the ones that didn't. And that just signified to me that it doesn't really matter what choice I make, because sometimes making a decision is more important than the decision itself. I love the color scheme, and I like that they all have the same color border, but I like that they're each totally different.
Andre, salud. I'm knitting on the sleeve for a sweater for Oleg. Eu plecat, Andrei? Sau mai sunt la voi?
The colors on the inside, because it just keeps it interesting from a crochet perspective. When I have to make like 117 of these, we'll see when I actually go to like piece it together. Maybe I'll need more, maybe I'll need less, but it just keeps it interesting so I'm not getting entirely bored. And then there's little micro decisions to make throughout that also don't really matter, and it's best not to overthink it. So I think these are all going to look really cute together. So there you go. That is some context on this whole project and what's actually going on from a planning perspective. The next step for me is to spend the next few months making as many of these as possible, and when I have somewhere between 40 and 100, I'll lay them out and try to figure out how I'm going to make a sweater out of these. So this is my creative process, so I'm leaning into that. I'll see you in a couple months.
Stop. Buddy, we talked about this. Why are you moving so much? Stop it.
Okay, we're rocking 48 granny squares. I have learned my lesson. I've officially been taught. I get it now. I think it's just one of those things that everyone's got to try. I've tried it. So the warning a lot of people give you before diving into a large granny square project is always the don't do it. Most people, like some people are granny square people, and that is where their heart lies. And I love you. Like, you're amazing. I want that. I really want what you have. But I think most people, above 60% of the crafters out there or crocheters out there, have or will experience the same thing, which is granny square fatigue. It's real. I went in so confident, being like, how long could it possibly take to make a granny square? And then it took me an hour. And I was like, oh, well, I can cut that time in half. Like, it's the first couple granny squares. I haven't made that many granny squares over the course of my life. So, like, I'll get better if I'm making a ton of them. Like, I'll get faster. And the fastest I got was really like 45, 50 minutes. So, not that much faster. So we're about 50 hours into this project as far as like hours spent working on it. And I am at a critical decision point. I have two big decisions to make. So the first one is around the neckline. What kind of neckline do I want? I honestly have no idea at this point. If I want a V-neck or a scoop neck or just a circular neck, like what's the vibe? I know for sure I do not want a square neck or a boat neck. Not my vibe. The second decision that needs to be made is, am I actually going to make a full sweater, or do I just want to do a sweater vest? I don't know the answer. I have a lot of feelings around it, and maybe I shouldn't, because it's like, it's crafting, it's not that deep, but sometimes it is a little deep. To help me make these decisions, I spread out my living room. I grabbed a sweatshirt from my closet. So it's a nice like reference sweatshirt for me to pull out of my closet whenever I'm putting together stuff like this. And the nice thing about a granny square project is you really can lay it out and play around with the different form factors to decide how you want it to look. So I played around with what would it look like if I were to set this up to sort of be a circular neckline. I decided pretty quickly I didn't want to do like a low scoop neck. I've almost never liked those, so the chances of me falling in love with it now are pretty slim. And it was really between a V-neck and a circular neck. And I was still having a hard time deciding, so I ended up just like laying out a couple squares to make a little sleeve and came to a couple different decisions. And some of them were kind of tough decisions to make. So here's what I settled on. I want to do a sweater vest. That was a really tough decision to come to, but once I decided that kind of answered the question for me about neckline, I would like to go for a V-neck. So some of my thought process around deciding to go with a sweater vest instead of a full-on sweater is I did not get the feeling from this project that I was expecting to get at this point. I was expecting to be like dead stop in love. No doubts, like absolutely head over heels for this project. That's what I was hoping for and what I was expecting. And right now, I'm just not feeling that. And the reason why is because I find all these squares together when put in the format of a sweater to be visually overwhelming. When I was looking at granny square projects before and looking at images and inspiration before starting this project, I liked a lot of them, but I couldn't find an entire through line. But now that I've gotten this far, I've found the through line. Like I've found what I like. And so I'm prepared to tackle another granny square project in the future, and with a whole lot of key takeaways and learnings for the next one. So I would like to eventually make a full granny square sweater, but if I'm going to do that, for my personal style, I think I want every single square to be exactly the same. I need that continuity. I love scrappy sweaters and I love scrappy projects, but there's a certain line for me between what looks scrappy and what looks like visually too much, like too much is happening. And that line's a little different for everyone, so I found my line. And for this, that I haven't crossed the line if I just do a sweater vest, but I have crossed the line if I go towards making a full-on sweater. I also have like a tiny bit of shame around this because I feel like I'm giving up. It feels like a cheater's cop-out, because I went into this expecting to make a sweater. So me debating making a sweater vest, the whole time I just kept thinking, well, am I just trying to pick the easy way out? Like, am I just being lazy? And the more I sit with it, yes, yes, but also I would like this more as a sweater vest. And if I'm not 100% in love with how these look together as a sweater, it shouldn't be a sweater, and I shouldn't pour another 30 hours into making 30 more granny squares in order to do sleeves. So that's the decision I've come to. That's what I'm moving forward with. Okay, next steps. There are a lot of them. Let's go. 1, weave and ends. 2, block them all. I blocked some of these and they look great. And then I'm gonna look up seaming methods. And I'm not done making granny squares. I am getting excited. There's still like a lot of work to be done on this, and we're not close to being done, but a lot closer than me having to make 30 more granny squares to do sleeves. So that's fun. I think I'll see you when it's time to start seaming, and we'll talk then. I'm questioning everything. I was so confident yesterday and was like, I got this. I can do this. And now I feel like I really don't got this. I don't. What am I doing? I don't feel confident about any decisions here. Let me explain. Okay, yeah, you can see what's going on here, right? So I made my little 2 half squares, but this is such a weird shape for a neckline. Like, what the heck? I don't think I like that. Maybe maybe I just don't do a V-neck and that's okay, and I do a scoop neck and I do it 3 wide instead. And then, I don't know what to do. That's weird. What if I do, is that too wide of a sweater then if I do this? Or it's not a sweater, it's a sweater, but that's too wide. Is it too wide? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Okay, I have laid them out on my existing sweater vest, and I think I have a direction to go in. I'm not feeling entirely confident about any option right now, so that's fun. But I think if I seam all the pieces together like this and then add a knit collar, V-neck collar, and then side seams, and then also do some bottom ribbing to give it a little bit more length, then that should get me to something at least shape-wise that I like. Fingers crossed. Man, I'm so not confident right now. I do need to make 4 more corner pieces though, because I only made 2, and I think that's what I need to make the arm shaping a little bit better, because I don't like when you're doing a crochet sweater vest or sweater or anything, when people do just like the hard angular square lines and try to pick up and make it into a scoop neck through adding ribbing. It just doesn't, I don't like it visually. It's not my vibe. So I need this to help give it more curve. But I didn't really love making these corner ones, but I'll suck it up. I'll make some more. Wish me luck, please. I don't want to make 4 more of these and just be like, oh my gosh, no, I still hate it. So for the past like 3 hours, I have been hardcore questioning every decision I've made and been like, maybe I should just give up and make it into a scarf, and that'll be that. And then it was really nice because my husband came in like 20 minutes ago and like saw the project chilling on the floor here and saw me just like staring at it, and he had the same comments that I did, where he was like, oh, that's kind of visually a lie. I think it would be good if you did that as like a sweater vest instead of a full sweater. Like I think that these types of crane squares would look better like that. I was like, wow, I totally agree. So it was just really nice to get a second opinion live, because I can't get your opinion right now. And then we just kind of talked through like the potential plan to finish this up, and it just made me feel a lot better about doing this. And I think what I'm gonna do potentially is seam, what am I doing? Where's my finger? Seam all along all the horizontal seams on the body here, and then
Guys, it seems that my dog fell asleep in my lap again. Oh shoot, and the other side. Why? I thought that I'm going to relax today, but apparently even today I'm on duty.
do the vertical seams. I don't know. I've never seamed granny squares together before, so I don't really know. I'm also decidedly waiting to weave in the ends, because I still haven't woven in the ends for a lot of these granny squares, because I have a hard time weaving in ends for crochet. I just find it more difficult to hide than in knitting. And so with crochet, I think I want it to all be seamed together and done, and then weave in the ends so that I know exactly the best way to hide them so that you can't see them on the finished garment. From a process perspective, I prefer weaving in as I go so that I don't have to do them all at once, but I think that this is probably the best method for having a nicer result that I will actually like. Repeat after me. Router is not for sleeping. Wi-Fi, very important, and you have so many sleeping options in the apartment. You don't need to sleep on the router. Front panel is totally seamed, and I know it looks like, what does it look like? It looks like a bra right now, basically, but that's gonna change. It's gonna get better. What did I say about my brain cells? It's just not working today. Let's try to explain this in order. So the front panel looks a little bit small, and that's because when I go to do sweater vests, at least with the other one that I made, I like that it's cropped as much as I like that it's cropped as much as it's cropped. It makes it really nice for layering. And so I just go with a generally very cropped look, but I will be adding, I think, bottom ribbing to the bottom. Like I'll be adding something. I'll be adding something to the bottom of this to give it like maybe 2 more inches of length. But I'm just at the point where I'm like ready to have this project over with, which I kind of have a hard time admitting, because I feel like I'm supposed to love every second of every craft that I do ever. But that's not fair. Like I wanted to try a granny square project. I have a lot of takeaways and lessons that I've learned from this to make it a much better experience next time. But I don't want to like waste it. I don't want to have all these granny squares and not use them for a project. I do want to make something with it, and something that I will hopefully like. I'm feeling pretty good about the fact that I'm gonna like this, but I'm not 100% loving and enjoying the process of it right now. I don't like hate it. I haven't been upset all day. I just am like, yeah, I think I'd rather be knitting. I'm just gonna fall asleep right here. A few days later, I really don't enjoy weaving in ends. Usually I don't make that big of a deal of it, but if it ends up being a large percentage of the project is me weaving in ends, that's when I start to get frustrated. Because I'm getting a little bit frustrated with weaving in ends, I want to take a step back and focus on something else that I'm a little bit more excited about. So that for me would be thinking about the neckline and the collar situation that we're gonna have going on here. So it's the only thing that I have a somewhat clear vision of is what I want to do for the collar, but there's still a lot of decisions that need to be made. So what I need to do is do a little swatch because I want to knit the collar instead of crocheting it, and that means I'm gonna have to pick up stitches and all around here and then work in the round. And when I get to the center point, every other row I'm gonna do what's called a center double decrease, and that'll give me sort of like that pointy V shape so that it's very clearly a V neck instead of just like a really deep scoop neck. So my current to-do list is 1, finish weaving in the ends, 2, cast on for the collar and finish the collar, and then I need to do the like what's this called, the edge for the armholes. This is not long enough, like it's too cropped. If I can see my shirt underneath, it's too cropped, and these are very high-waisted shorts. So I'm gonna want to add like an inch or 2 of ribbing, probably 2 inches, but I don't need to add so much that it would be worth it for me to add another row of the granny squares to this. When it comes to doing the armholes, the reason I'm hesitating is because I'm not sure what I want to do on the side here. So can I help you? So here are the options that I am considering for the side panel. Is it's kind of tight if I was just... So option 1 is I sew this all together, but that would mean that I have 0 inches of positive ease, and I'm just committing to this being a bit of a tighter fit, which is okay, but I do like to have a little bit of positive ease just to make things like comfortable. So that is option 2, which is where I add sort of a panel in the center. And if I decide to do that, what I'm not sure, it would probably be like an inch or 2 wide. Would I want it to be knit or crochet? And would I want it to be granny stitches if I were to crochet it? And what color would it be? Just a lot to think about there. And then the third option is if I add little ties on the side here, because that would give me a little bit of flexibility in how wide I want to make it. And if I just add like 1 or 2 ties, because I'm planning on always wearing this over another shirt. I'm not planning on wearing this as a tank top. What am I gonna do, guys? What am I gonna do? For a very rare surprise, we have Mary in the house. She does not like being on camera very often, and she very rarely voluntarily hangs out with me for longer than 10 seconds. So it is the next day, and I just wanted to provide a quick update. I promise future videos I'll go back to having my more intentionally filming setup and everything, but for now, I feel like a little gremlin, like working my way through this project this week. So the update I'm giving right now is I am working on the collar. There's absolutely no good way. Maybe there is a good way to show you. I'm working on the collar right now. And I did like 4 different swatches where I just like picked up stitches along here, just along 2 different squares, and started playing around with different needle sizes and stitch like types. And what I ended up settling on was doing 2x2 rib instead of 1x1 rib. And I am like feeling pretty good about that. And I'm using a 3.5mm needle, which... do you need to know that? Maybe. I used a 3mm hook for all the granny squares, and yeah, 3.5mm needle for the 2x2 rib along the neckline. Hopefully it works out. And I'm holding the yarn double because when I was holding it single, it was just way too thin. And then because I'm doing 2x2 rib instead of 1x1, I'm not going to do a center double decrease along the like V portion of the V, and instead the middle portion of the V is made up of 2 different knit stitches, and when I get to 1, I do a knit 2 together, and then for the other one, doing a slip slip knit, so that it'll look like I have a row of 2 knit stitches going perfectly vertical while I do my decreases. And then I think I'm going to do that every other row, because I'm pretty sure that's the best way to do that. So I'm going to work on this today, and we'll see how far I get. I think I can actually get pretty far on this collar today, to the point I'm hoping I can get it done tonight. We'll see how the night goes. I'm gonna work on this while I listen to the audiobook of Night Circus, which I'm really enjoying. I'm starting to dip my toes into the world of fantasy because I read a couple fantasy books that I wasn't really into. Why am I not working on this while I talk? Yeah, I've never really been super into fantasy. I find that there's just so much to keep track of, and I read books with the intention to be entertained, and I find if there's too much going on, or there's too much lore or real world building, I just get bored, or I get confused, and with fantasy books, there's too many words that I don't know how to pronounce, so listening to audiobook helps me with that. I think that's the best way for me to absorb a fantasy book, and then also, like, finding ones that are deeply unserious has been really helpful, and I'm so embarrassed to admit, but I really shouldn't be. Please forgive me, fantasy lovers out there. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I know was so popular. It was so popular. And people started hating on it because it was really popular, and it was like not a cool book to like, and people were shamed for reading it. And so I decided not to read it because I didn't like fantasy anyways, and people were kind of making fun of it. And then I was like, you know what? whatever, I'm gonna read it. So I listened to the audiobook, and I listened to it in literally 2 days. It's not the best piece of literature I've ever read, but I was heckin' entertained. And then I followed it up by reading or listening to That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, which is just so funny. And the audiobook version is so hilarious. I don't know if they're called actors, or readers, but the person read by did an excellent job. It was just so fun to listen to, and now I'm listening to Night Circus. So I'm really entering my fantasy era. So if you know of any fast-paced fantasy books, let me know. Editing me here. I wanted to add a clarification if you're going to offer up a book recommendation for fantasy books. I don't like smut all that much, but I also don't mind it. Like, I'm not bothered by it. I just skip through those parts. So if you're going to recommend a book, it's totally fine. If there are smut scenes in it, just know that I'm going to skip through it. So if you're offering up a book that's like 50% smut, maybe like just know that I'm going to skip through half the book. I was in a major reading slump this year. I didn't read a single book, even listen to audiobook, anything, until mid-August or end of August. And now I'm in my like crazy, I can't get enough, I've listened to 16 audiobooks in October sort of mindset, and it's October 5th right now, and not October 5th, it's November 5th, the evening of November 5th, and I'm trying not to think about the election, because we'll just see what happens. And everything's going to be fine.
Best hidden object game for long flights. No Wi-Fi, no ads, free and...
This Black Friday, Mind Valley membership is 50% off for life. And when you get a Mind Valley membership, you are now getting access to 50 of the great...
Fine. Hey baby, is it okay if I sit next to you? So, it's the same day, election night, lots of fun. I make a point every year. I don't know why I do this to myself. Every election, I watch. As soon as the polls start until I fall asleep. Every year it is very stressful. Oh gosh, it's up on the screen over there. I'm only mentioning this because it's a big deal. No matter what side you are on, no matter what your political beliefs are, elections are a very big deal, and voting is very important, as most of us know. Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop, ba-doop. Okay, enough about all of that nonsense, very important nonsense. I'm gonna talk about the vest. So tonight I'm surprised and happy, but I actually finished the collar, and it's a very interesting v-neck shape. I haven't done very many v-necks in knitting, and I certainly haven't done any this like deep and narrow. I have tried it on and I like it. I'm definitely gonna wear it. My husband is playing video games right now, and he's actually in a video game competition at the moment. So you might hear him shouting in the background. I love him. I'm especially happy that when it's on, the v-neck is perfect. So I ended up using a 3.5mm needle for the first like 5 or 6 rounds, and then switched to a 3.25, so size down, for the remaining portion of the collar, which is pretty common for me. In knitting, one of my biggest like icks in knitting is when you go to do the collar and it ends up being loose on the end and kind of flaying out a little bit and getting a little ripples around the edges. I like it to hug in nice and lay nice and flat against the neck. That is why I will usually size down just a little bit when I go to the halfway point of a collar. And then my other pet peeve is if it's a little too tight. I'm not a big fan of that either, and I have a tendency to do my bind offs really tight. So for this bind off, I ended up switching back to the 3.5mm, so going up a size and binding off with that, and it's the perfect fit on the first try. I'm so happy about that. The decrease along the V portion of the neck, perfect. Absolutely love how that came out. I've just been so nervous this entire time and just so unsure. Pippin's helped me with my confidence. She's just here to provide as much emotional support as I need. I gotta stop looking over at the Electoral College map right now. Find a good way to show this while I talk about it, aside from me holding it up. No, Pippin, come back. There we go, that's a good way to show it. Fun fact about Pippin, she used to be trained. She isn't anymore because I didn't keep up with it, but she did sit on command, she would fetch on command, she would walk like proper walks outside on a leash, on a harness, really well like a dog. But she was at one point trained, so I know she understands several words. So it's hilarious to me now where I know she knows certain words and she chooses not to listen. Next steps for the vest. I think I'm going to move forward with the side tie idea instead of adding little side panels to increase some of the width here. I think I figured out also how I want to go about constructing the remaining portions of the sweater. So I still need to add ribbing, which is going to look very similar to the ribbing along the collar here, along the sleeves and underarm portion, and then I want to add it on the sides as well and on the bottom portion. So basically every raw granny square edge exposed is going to be, where was I going with that sentence? Is going to have this like ribbing portion added to it, about 1.5 inches, I would say. No, I'm thinking 1 inch is probably better because I don't want to be too big. I still want it to be somewhat fitted. Clearly, I've given it a ton of thought. Why do I have a headache? So it's only 8 p.m. and my husband and I weirdly enough bought like spontaneous movie tickets tonight for 10 p.m. So I have 2 hours to kill and stress out while staring at my computer screen. So I think I'm going to actually try and cast on one of the sleeve, what do I call it? One of the edges, that's what I'll call it. One of the edges tonight, while I deep breathe. All right, I'm gonna work on this. It's done. And if I'm being completely honest, it turned out as good as I expected at the very beginning and much better than I expected at the halfway point. A lot of the choices I fussed over, I'm really happy to say, and it's most likely just a little bit of luck. But I'm happy to say that they were good choices. I like the small gauge, though I would not do that again. I like the small gauge of the crochet and the knitting. I like the 2x2 rib. I like the V-neck. It's a very unique V-neck shape for me. Like I said before, I don't have anything that's this long and narrow. And coming only to a V shape towards the very bottom, most that I've seen have a very gentle slope down to the V section. I like the color, I like the splits. I ended up debating between doing an I-cord and a button on the side to close this gap here, because this is intended to be a flat piece that has a closure system, but I tried on a couple different buttons and I didn't really like any of them. I found them distracting and they didn't really add to it from my perspective. Because it's such a busy piece, I wanted something a little bit more simple, and I made an I-cord little tie, well, half of an I-cord tie, and it just was not nearly drapey enough for me. It was pretty stiff, and I don't like the idea of it being really stiff. I would rather have it behave more like ribbon tying together. So I ended up just doing a sewn closure here on the side, and I'm really happy with that decision. I think it looks a lot cleaner and a little bit more simple. This felt more like an exploration of crochet for me and an exploration of granny squares than me trying to execute a specific vision. It was more like, hey, I haven't really played around in this world. Let's see what there is. And I'm so thankful that I did this project because I have so many clear takeaways. And I am not turning my back on granny squares anytime soon, but I have a much clearer vision of what to do next time to make it a far more enjoyable experience for me. Next time I attempt to make a granny square project, I would like to make a full sweater at some point in time, but I would like to make a project with a larger hook size and a larger gauge in general. I used a 3mm hook for most of this, and it was just too small of a gauge. It ended up being difficult to work with. You know, when you're crocheting and you kind of have to poke through, it just took a little bit more focus and time to do that than if I were to use like a DK weight yarn. I think I would have gotten into a flow state much better using a larger yarn. But if I were to use a larger yarn, I'd want to go with something really, really drapey because I don't like the stiffness of crochet. So I would definitely lean more towards like a drapier merino, maybe even using up some superwash merino that I actually have on hand because that can be pretty drapey. If I were to try something as large as a sweater, from going on Pinterest and Instagram and just looking at different sources of inspiration, I found after doing this that I tended to be a little bit more certain about projects where every single granny square matched, or there was more pattern and intention behind it. This was more of a loose, scrappy sort of situation. And I think next time I would like to do every single granny square the same, or doing it where it's a checkerboard pattern and every other, just something a little bit more cohesive, maybe a more limited color palette. And I also would want to do squares that are, smaller is not the right word. This has 6 different rounds of color from the innermost section of the, make sure I'm pointing at the right thing, from the innermost section to the outer white portion. It's 6 layers of color per granny square. I think in the future I wouldn't like to exceed 5 and maybe even lean closer to 4. I also learned that I think 50 granny squares per project is about my max. Like that's the point where I just start not loving it as much. This I think was 48 granny squares, not including all the like half ones. And I actually have 14 full granny squares left over, and I have quite a bit of this yarn, so I'm debating different ideas with that. And for anyone that has not knit with knitting for olive merino before, I'm surprised at how it's not as soft as I thought it would be. Like, it's soft. People who tend to like more woollier wool, I think, would perceive this as being incredibly soft, but people with really sensitive skin would see it as being a little bit rougher than like a drops merino. I find like drops daisy feels like touching a cloud compared to this. And it's not rough by any means, it's just not as soft as I expected. I did end up tracking how much time this project took because I knew it would be spread out over several months and I would totally lose track or perception of how many hours I actually spent working on this. So I wanted to have something to reference to know in future projects of what to expect. And this is a note to people that are really into making garments or feel like they're a slow crafter. Obviously, if everyone watching were to try and execute this exactly, it would take everyone a very different amount of time. But for me, it took about 50-ish hours to make all of the granny squares for this project. Each square took approximately 45 to 60 minutes. It took me 6 hours to weave in the ends. Yikes. It took 4 hours for me to do all the seaming. I spent 12 hours on all of the ribbing. And you can see the ribbing goes around all the edges, and it's really interesting to look at it when it's flat before I connect it on the sides here, just to see where all the ribbing went. And I'm really happy with the way that I went about doing the ribbing, doing all the sides and armholes and stuff first as one piece, and then doing this bottom portion. And then other things related to working on this project took about 3 hours, probably more depending on what you actually want to count. I spent countless hours on Pinterest and like websites and Google searches trying to decide on things, so I didn't count that time. But as far as blocking, and can't think of anything other than blocking, but all the little things associated with doing projects. So in total, this project took me about 75 hours to complete, which is a long time. My goodness. I can only imagine how long it would have taken if I had done a complete sweater. I should also note that I am not a very fast crocheter, and because this was such a small gauge for me, I had a difficult time manipulating the yarn the way I wanted it to and getting the hook to go in the spots that I wanted it to go. So that process took me a lot longer than I think it would if I were to size up. But yeah, that's it. I think this is so autumn to me. This is very fall. I'm definitely gonna wear this on Thanksgiving, even though I have no Thanksgiving plans, so I'll just wear it around the apartment. And I don't know about you, but as soon as I finish an object, or even when I buy an article of clothing, I instantly try it on with everything in my wardrobe and see what combinations I end up liking. And I found a lot of different combinations that I really did enjoy. And I was happy to see that I liked it with tank tops and shorts. I liked it with dresses. I liked it with my different pants. It goes with all of the pants in my closet, which kind of surprised me because I didn't feel like I have a lot in this color palette, but I guess I do. So all in all, I personally would call this a success, and I am happy that I made it. I'm also glad that I finished this just in time to upload it for tomorrow, which is the day that you might be watching this if you're a real go-getter. The day that it will be uploaded is tomorrow, so I'm going to finish editing this portion, and hopefully I didn't talk too long. I feel like I've been talking for like 15 minutes. I always do that. I've never once in my life have I worn a watch, but you know, why? Why do I do this? Thanks for being here. If you like this video, subscribe if you're not already, because that's fun for me. It could be fun for you. I don't know. There's a certain satisfaction to like pushing a button and having a little something happen digitally, a bunch of ones and zeros, bending to your will. That's all I got for you. Thanks.
Descoperă o lume a frumuseții fără limite, o selecție unică de produse cosmetice, parfumuri, produse cosmetice și...
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and tis the season. It is the season of gift giving, of course, but it's also the season of gift receiving. I thought it would be fun if I put together a little list of crochet and knit things that either I have really had my eye on this year, or things I have purchased in the past and feel like would make great gifts for a crocheter or knitter in your life. And since Black Friday is coming up, I wanted to get this video out a little bit earlier, so in case there's any sales on these items, you can make sure you snag them or send them to a loved one to snag for you. So that's basically all we're going to do today. Like I said, a lot of these items are things I have or have used myself and would highly recommend, and some of them are things I have my eyes on too that will definitely be on my gift list this year. So I'm going to use my phone today, so don't mind me being on my phone, but I'm going to jump right into them. I tried to break these up in little categories to make them make maybe a little bit more sense, but I'm going to start off strong. I have one yarn recommendation for a holiday gift, and it is the Noro Dragon Eggs. So basically, the Noro Dragon Egg is just a cake of Noro yarn. They just happen to call it a dragon egg, which I think is so cute and adorable. It's also very unique, but Noro yarn is something I absolutely love working with. I have been lucky enough to be sent a couple of these. It's such a unique yarn. It's a unique fiber, and it's really something I have never worked with before, and I just really have come to love Noro yarn. I also think the colorways are so beautiful. This is typically a number 3 lightweight yarn, and it is mostly cotton. There is some silk and some other stuff in there, depending on which line you get, but I would highly recommend giving these a try. This is kind of a yarn that is definitely more pricey. You do get usually about 200 grams of yarn per egg, if you will. And so you do actually get a lot of yarn. I can usually make a whole entire short sleeve top with just one ball. You do get the most bang for your buck, but I will say that I have just loved my Noro yarns. They wear really nicely. It really feels like you're wearing nothing, and it's a fun yarn to experiment with. It's also probably one you wouldn't find buying for yourself as much, so that always makes a great gift. So that is my only yarn recommendation for this video. I do have some other yarns, and actually some that are right here behind me that I really do love and adore, but if I had to pick one that really stood out to me, it would be Noro. So I would, recommend any of the Noro yarns. I will link the two I have tried specifically in case you're interested in those colorways, but I think they all are really good, and it just depends on what colorway you want. So that was my number one suggestion, was yarn. Next, I thought we could go into some tools for knitting. Like, I think they're pronounced like, Lyyke. They have an amazing selection of interchangeable knitting needles. I was gifted some of these, and I also have previously bought some from Knit Picks. The Knit Pick ones are good. I do like them. They're interchangeable as well, but I don't know, something about the interchangeable like ones were so much better for me. They glide a lot better. I got a metal version, and so maybe that's why too, because the Knit Pick ones, I did get a wood version of those. I always grab for my like needles over my Knit Pick ones if they are available for me to choose from. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, especially if you're going to want to maybe try to get into knitting. You can get a really nice set of like needles. I feel like the cost was very comparable to the Knit Pick ones, and maybe they'll have a sale too. So I would definitely keep an eye out for those, but those are definitely needles I have been loving lately, and I have been doing a lot of knitting. So I definitely am always gravitating towards those. I really, really enjoy them. And again, I'll link the exact set I have, but I think any of the sets would work really well. I think maybe I too just tend to gravitate towards a metal knitting needle versus a wood knitting needle. So I did want to mention those. As far as crochet goes though, I do want to try a Furls metal streamline crochet hook. I have tried their, maybe it's resin, I think they make the other hooks out of, but I have tried their other hooks that are either resin or whichever they are, and I do like it. It's okay, but I do think honestly I would get way more use out of a metal streamline hook. I don't think their pricing is too outrageous. They are definitely a more expensive crochet hook, but it is an ergonomic hook. It's a longer hook, which I definitely love. I have bought hooks that are far shorter, and I just never find myself using them, so I do love that part of it, and I find that they're very good hooks. Also, if you get a metal one, it's not going to run the risk of dropping and breaking, which is really nice. I heard a lot of people say be careful with your Furls hook, because if you drop it, the resin one that is, it will probably break, and that is just sad. I don't want it to break. So yeah, I definitely have an interest of trying out a metal crochet hook from Furls, and that is actually on my Christmas list this year. Specifically the red ones that they put out. I think those are so beautiful. They're also so holiday-esque. Anyway, that is something that I have really had my eye on, like hyper focused on lately, and I don't know if they're having a Black Friday sale, but if they are, I might be on the website. So I just wanted to mention that. And then going back to the Like brand, they also have the most incredible scissors. I know this might be something that's a little bit silly, but for me, it's absolutely imperative that I have a good pair of scissors. I am not one who likes to futz and fuss with trying to cut the yarn and it not cutting like 6 times in a row. I like a nice, crisp, clean cut, and these scissors always do that for me. They are seriously the most incredible scissors ever. They're also very cute. I love them, and I have probably 8 pairs of scissors because I love buying the scissors, and I always gravitate towards the Like ones. So I would definitely highly recommend those. They are so good, cute, and yeah, they always get the job done, especially when I'm working with my big fuzzy blanket yarn. I never have a problem with shedding because they cut so crisply. So I absolutely love them. Would just highly recommend. I've posted them even on my story before to recommend them, but I wanted to give them another little honorable mention right here for you. So that is actually all of the things I have as far as actual tools go. I didn't have many tools on my wish list this year because I do tend to be a creature of habit, and I tend to use the same things over and over, but those were the things I am like hyper fixated on, especially that Furls hook. I want to get that. And yeah, those knitting needles are just incredible. So like I said, highly recommend. Next section I want to go into is more accessory based items. So these are things that maybe aren't quite as necessary for crochet or knitting, but they do make it a lot of fun, and I love to have fun when I'm doing my work. So
Când tu se te face să te simți rău și îți strică planurile, Herbion vine în ajutor. Herbion ține tusea și planurile sub control. Acesta este un medicament. Citiți cu atenție prospectul.
here, which is hilarious to me that I still have never bought one of these because I have wanted one ever since I started crocheting, and it's a yarn bowl. Why have I not bought a yarn bowl? They're not even that expensive at Joann's, but there are some really beautiful yarn bowls out there. If you go on Etsy, there was a lot of handcrafted ones that are just gorgeous. People make really fun, adorable yarn bowls, and I need one. I just need one, okay? I think this is a really good gift, especially if you live in a household that has pets. I think it just really helps keep your yarn a lot cleaner because, you know, it's not on the floor, on the couch, all over the pet hair. So I definitely think this is a really good gift, like I said, especially if you have animals in your life. To kind of piggyback off of the yarn bowl, if you've been on my channel a while now, you did actually see me when I opened this yarn cake spinner. I will insert a better picture of it so you can really see, but basically what you do is you put your little cake of yarn right on top here, and it will spin with your work. So as you're working, it will just go along with your project. You don't have to fiddle with it too much, and then you can actually take the top off and store any kind of notions in here you need, any scissors, safety eyes if you're working on something like that, anything like that. So it's very convenient. This is an awesome little compartment. I absolutely love that part of this. This is something I would consider maybe a little bit more expensive. This is like a plastic, maybe 3D printed type of item. I'm not exactly sure what this is made of, but I can absolutely tell you this is something I would have never bought myself, even though it's something I really, really wanted for a long time. I had my eyes on these forever, and I do follow this company on Instagram, and I would always comment when new stuff would come out because I was so excited about it. But I asked for this for my birthday, and my husband did get it for me. You can also customize colors in this. This was just a standard blue one, but you can customize the colors on the cake ones. They have a bunch of other designs too, and I believe they're also releasing some for Christmas. So if they're having a Black Friday sale, they could be a really cool company to check out. They're also a small business, so it always does help to support a small business, and it's just a fun little thing to have, even if you just have it on display in your craft room like this. Next thing I want to talk about is cute stitch markers. This was something I never knew I needed until I ran my community project over on my channel, and I was sent so many really beautiful, creative stitch markers from you guys, from yarn shops you frequent in your area, and they are some of my favorite things now. I used to just buy the little plastic ugly ones, and I thought I was fine with those, but once you guys sent me those new cute ones, I could just not resist. I absolutely love them. They make projects so much more fun, especially projects where you need a stitch row counter, because I don't know, something about whenever I read I need a stitch marker, I'm like, oh no, where is this going? So this just makes it a little bit more fun for me, and yeah, I have absolutely loved using them. Behind the scenes, I'm working on some amigurumi stuff, which I will be showing you in an upcoming vlog soon, and I've just been needing a stitch marker a lot more lately than usual, and it's just been so fun to use ones I've been sent, and I just absolutely love them. I definitely will be looking into purchasing more fun stitch markers as I see them, but I will link some of, again, the small businesses that I was sent stitch markers from, and also maybe some other ones I have seen floating around that I wouldn't mind having myself. So I will link those, but yeah, I definitely recommend having some fun aspects to your projects, like a cutie little stitch marker. You just absolutely can't go wrong. Another thing I think is a fantastic gift. This is probably the most inexpensive thing I have on my list. It's about $6, and I will talk about it until I'm blue in the face. I have talked about this thing so much, especially if you're into tapestry or amigurumi, actually really anything wearables, is a row counter. They are literally the best things in the world. I know they're not called row counters because they are not made for crochet. They are a child's fidget toy, but they are row counters for me, okay? I have been using one for probably 2 years, and I can't imagine not having it. I think I saw maybe in someone else's YouTube gift guide video a few years ago, them having one in there, and they just could not recommend it enough. And as someone who works on really big tapestry projects very often, this is an imperative part of the process for me. So I could not recommend this more. And even if you're not going to put this on your gift list, pick one up yourself. Like I said, they're usually $7. Whenever I got mine, it was on sale, and my husband got it for me for Christmas for, I think, $4.99. So inexpensive, and it's just so imperative to making your life so much easier, because I don't know about you, but I lose track of my rounds every single time I'm counting them without fail. And I used to just tally mark on like a notebook, and then I would be like, I don't want to stop, I'll tally 2 next time, and before you know it, I haven't tallied in like 6 rounds. I don't know where I am. So just having to push down a little button is so helpful. Could not recommend enough. Please get yourself one of these for any type of crochet project you're working on. It's going to help you so much, and it's so inexpensive. How can you say no? The next thing I want to talk about is something I've actually been using a lot lately instead of my little tote bags or reusable bags, and it is an actual project bag. Imagine that. So this one has my knitting project in it right now, which I will also be talking to you about in another vlog. We have a lot to catch up on, but this is also from the Like brand. I really hope I'm saying it right because I'm talking about them so much in this video. I really like this brand. I was sent over this bag by Knitting Fever, and as you guys know, I love them. I love all the products that I always get from them, and this project bag is so cool because, for one, look how deep it is. It's a very large bag, and in here you actually get multiple compartments. So hold on, let me pull my project out. So in here you get the giant regular compartment. Then you also get this little area where you can keep a notebook, you can keep your hooks if you're crocheting, you can keep scissors, notions, whichever you need. You can keep them right in that smaller compartment, and you can close it up. And then on this other side here, there is a zipper pouch as well. So when I bring this bag with me, either to a coffee shop to knit or crochet, or on the road, if I'm going on a little bit of a road trip, I like to put my wallet in there, just things like that, little things, you know, a lip gloss, a couple mints, something like that in that little compartment there. And this bag has just been so lovely. I absolutely have just really enjoyed using it. It has adjustable strap sizes on the side here, so you can change the size of the strap if you're interested in doing that, and it's it's just really a good quality bag. Obviously, it has your top zip. You can zip it all the way up, and it comes in a lot of different colors. Let me see right here which colors they have. So they have mauve, black, camel, gray, maroon, or navy, and this one I got in maroon, and I just love this color. This is such a good color for me for fall and winter. You guys know I love me some burgundy, so this maroon is just so pretty. I absolutely love it. And the really cool thing about this bag is they actually gave me a little bit of a discount code for you guys. So if you're interested in this bag, they have a 25% off sale. So you just have to use my code, which is BlondieKnots25 at checkout, and it'll get you 25% off plus free shipping on this bag. And yeah, it's just really a super amazing bag. I love everything about it. It is also made of vegan leather, so it feels really nice. It looks really luxurious. It feels luxurious, and I cannot recommend this enough. I have been using this nonstop since I got it, and I just love it. I love bringing this around with me and keeping my project nice and safe and keeping things separated, because I am such a weirdo about organization. I love being organized. So I did want to give that a little bit of an honorable mention because I have just been loving that as of late. And since I have a discount code for you, I thought I would extend it to you just to make sure in case you want one, you have an opportunity to get one at a lower price, which we all love that. Last thing for this little category that I want to include is an arm support chair for reading, is what it says in the description of the one I bought. But of course, I've been using it for crochet and knit. Again, if you guys have been here a while, you know I have had some issues with my forearms, especially burning, feeling like fire ants are eating it up, and sometimes my elbow and shoulder, but truly mostly in my forearm. And a lot of you guys suggested I got a arm support pillow. I will tell you, I got one, and it has been a lifesaver when I remember to use it, but it helps so much. I cannot express how much relief it takes off of my shoulders, especially having my arms propped up like this and being able to work on this. I also do editing on the couch sometimes, and I use that to put my laptop on. I've used it for reading. I've used it for literally everything. My husband's used it to eat a dinner on the couch. So we love it in this house. And yeah, I will say that it has just been so helpful. And in order to crochet a lot for you guys, I do need to find ways to support my body better. And this has been a big help. So I could not recommend this enough. Even if you don't crochet all day, every day, it still is really important that when you are, you're taking really good care of your body. And so this is something I would absolutely recommend. When I got mine, it was on a really, really good sale. And so fingers crossed it'll be on Black Friday again coming up. I think Amazon has their deal starting November 21st, something like that. Don't quote me, but every time I log into Amazon, I think that's what I'm seeing. So hopefully this will be one of those items on sale. Of course, it's linked for you. Make sure you check it out. It's also very firm, so I don't have any slipping or like deflating when I push my arm on it. Literally couldn't say enough good things about it. It has been really, really nice for me. And like I said, so important for my shoulder and my forearm. Last little category I made here, I'm just going to categorize and call it stationery. Some of it's not really stationery, but it was the best category name I could think of for this last little group of items. These are really fun little things that could be really useful and really thoughtful gifts, especially if you're going to give something to another crocheter or knitter in your life. I think if I received this, I would be like, that was so thoughtful for you to think beyond just a hook, a scissor, something like that. So let's go into that category really quickly. The first thing I have on this list is knitting and crochet books, any kind of stitch pattern books. I have so many, seriously. Looking over at my thing, I have at least 6 crochet books over there. I like to flip through those a lot when I'm looking for inspiration on stitch patterns for upcoming designs and stuff like that. I absolutely love a stitch pattern book, even though I can Google them, of course. There's something about being able to see it and look at it in front of you that is really awesome. They're also cute. They make cute decor in your craft room, so I love that. Another great book I got that I also talked to you guys about lately was Knitting Vogue. Someone asked me in the comments of that video if it is a techniques book, and it is. There is so much. Every single page is just really a thorough way to do something. In this particular situation, this is buttonholes, finishing the hem of a stitch, and of course, as a new knitter, I don't know how to do any of that. So it's all here in this book. This book has been very informational. I've already used it a couple times, and look how gorgeous it is. Come on. You can get books on thrift books, which is actually probably where I'm going to link them from. All of my crochet books, except for 1 or 2 that I can think of right off the bat, are from thriftedbooks.com, and they have them at such good prices. And I will tell you, I've never got one that has been in bad condition. You can pick what level of condition you want, and the lowest I've ever gone is used, I think. And even my used book came in really nice condition. I think it maybe had like a couple scribbles on the inside cover, and I don't care about that. So if I can get a book at $5 versus, you know, 25, 30 bucks, I'm going to do it. So I will link all the thrift books versions, and then I'll link the Amazon book versions too, in case you're interested in the newer copies instead of getting ones that are pre-used. Next thing I want to talk about is a project notebook. This is something I have never owned, but definitely something I would really be interested in giving a try, especially next year, to stay even a little more organized. The one I have had my eye on is basically where you can write down all the yarns you have in your stash. You can keep track of projects you worked on, have worked on. So, you know, maybe in 2 months, if you put a whip away and you want to pick it back up.
Is it just me or this girl is shouting? Or am I just like starting to feel the effects of my medicine right now? Like, I'm so tired. My throat hurts. And this lady is shouting and shouting. Okay, let's see if I need to do one more decrease.
Ooh, did you taste it? Eric?
Yeah, I kind of burned it a little bit on top, but still.
Oh, so good. What's better than garlic and cheese bread and a Christmas tree? And some cozy Christmas PJs? Love to see it. Because I know you can't really see the sign behind the big old Christmas tree. I know that now after I put it up. But I'm not moving it, so Merry Christmas on November 19th. Hey, babes. Welcome back to Moon Crochet. It's Brandy, and today I wanted to share with you guys what I will be crocheting for Christmas. As a crochet artist, I love to crochet things and give handmade gifts for the holidays. Not to everybody, okay, because not everybody appreciates them the way other people's do. People's, what? As I said in my crochet hot takes video, not everybody in your life, in your family, deserves a crochet gift. I stand firmly by that. Not everybody in my life deserves a crochet gift, but certain people definitely do. Certain people definitely do love them and adore them and appreciate them, and so today, I'm just going to be telling you about the crochet gifts that I will be personally making this year, or attempting to, because it is November 19th, and I really need to get a move on here if I want to get stuff like wrapped, and I'm not trying to be like up until 3 a.m. on December 25th crocheting things and wrapping stuff, because that's no way to live. I don't want to be stressing myself out, okay? I want to get my stuff done. I want to get my business handled. But anyway, I remember a few months ago, I made a video called like crochet gift ideas for the holidays or something like that. And in that video, I think like a few of the things that I put up on screen, I was like, I think I'm going to try to make some of those this year or whatever. I think that this version of my list, now that I've condensed it, now that I've kind of gotten down to brass tacks and figured out who I'm giving to what, what I'm giving to who? What is wrong with me today? It's definitely changed since then because, I don't know if you all get like this too, but I definitely always, like throughout the whole year, have so many ideas of like, oh, I want to make that, and I want to make this, and I'm going to give this one to that person, and da-da-da-da. But then when it comes down to it, I really need to be realistic with myself and be like, okay, girl, but you also have to work. You also have to clean. You also have to cook. There's other things you have to do besides crochet all day long, and you didn't start early enough to do all this stuff. So what are we actually going to do? So I have here my list of things that I will be crocheting this year for gifts for the holidays, and that I will definitely be doing, at least definitely trying my hardest to get it done. And maybe as I'm doing that, I'll like post those pictures in the community chat here, and maybe you guys can like see them and cheer for me, root for me, because I rarely get everything done that I want to get done, and I'm always disappointed. And I'm like, okay, maybe next year, and it seems like next year never happens because then there's always a whole new list of things that I want to do. So anyways, anybody out there who's struggling with gift ideas for the holidays that you want to crochet, maybe this will inspire you, or maybe you just want to hear me yap while you crochet whatever gifts you're working on for the holidays, or whatever you happen to be working on. Maybe you're not working on gifts at all. Maybe you're just working on stuff for
I have to go and call my mom.
fun. Whatever the case may be, come with me as I tell you about what I will be crocheting for Christmas this year. First thing that I will be crocheting for the holidays this year, and these are the things, shall I say, that I want to get done first before anything else, because this actually is not going to be a gift that I want somebody to open on the 25th. This actually is something that I want to have done by December 1st, because I want to have it all prepped for the holiday season, because it is crochet stocking advent calendars. I did mention this in my crochet gift ideas, I think, and I am sticking to this. I really want to make some advent calendars for my stepdaughter and my man, and maybe if I have time, one for myself too. I really don't like, just like a little piece of candy every day or whatever, but I do think it would be kind of fun to, for their advent calendars, to like throw in a little something extra on like just a few of the days, like maybe a little $5 gift card to like a coffee shop here, or like a pair of earrings there, like cheap little, cutesy earrings, nothing crazy. I want to get these crochet advent calendars shaped like little stockings, super cute, done by my stepdaughter. She's like a wild card. Like, she likes neutrals, but she also likes pastels. She likes fun colors, so I don't know. I can get kind of creative with hers. I'll probably just pick like maybe 3 or 4 colors, and also for her. And for me, I'll probably do mine like pastels, pinks, of course, maybe baby blue. I don't know. If I make one for myself. Let's be real, I have a lot to do here, so I might just focus on theirs, and then if I have spare time, then maybe I'll get one done for myself too. But definitely, those are like the top priority right now, 2 stocking advent calendars. And I know that because we're like in crunch time right now, it's probably best that I do 12-day advent calendars for each. That means I'd be doing 24 stockings total. But something in my soul just really wants to make 24-day advent calendars. That is probably not realistic. That's probably not going to happen, because then if I actually wanted to make one for myself, I would be making 72 stockings. That's a bit much. Okay, especially with everything else I have to do. So most likely going to do 12-day advent calendars because again, like if I were to do 24-day ones and I was going to do 2 of them, that's 48 stockings. Like whatever. So sucks to suck. I do need to be realistic. But yeah, so those are the first 2 things that I need to get done by December 1st. Okay, so now getting into the actual gifts for Christmas, I am planning on making 3 hexagon cardigans. That sounds crazy, but I actually started a couple of them and it's not like they don't take that long. Granny shells are very fast to do, so it's all about just getting the sizing correct and adding whatever rows you need to add, customizing it how you like. I think the main thing that's going to be like a pain in the butt with those is weaving in all the ends. But I'm sorry I keep scratching my hands, you guys. Like during this like when the weather starts getting cold, my hands get real chapped. Like it's kind of gross. My skin feels like a lizard. I don't like it. I really need to slather myself in lotion. But anywho, I know making 3 cardigans sounds crazy, but I don't know. I just feel like the hexagon cardigans are a little easier because it's just like making a giant granny square, except it's a hexagon. Making 3 different sizes, but I don't know. I just kind of have a feeling like I can get them done quickly because something about doing like a granny stitch is very like I can just turn my brain off and I cannot remember the name of the person that I was following their tutorial, but I will show it right here. I found this tutorial on YouTube. This creator does a very good job explaining like how you get the different sizes, what you need to do to add lengths, to do all this stuff. Very easy to follow. So I was like, okay, I think I can do some hexagon cardigans. And I mean, way back in I think like April or May, I had this idea. So I had the 3 girls, my stepdaughter and my 2 nieces, that I will be making these hexagon cardigans for. I had them pick out 4 colors that they would like, and I told them to pick colors that like they would like put together and they would be able to wear them. And that's pretty much all the detail that I gave them. So they all picked their 4 colors. I already have all the yarn for it, so it's just a matter of getting it done at this point. And those are, I think, the biggest things that I want to make this year. Other than that, most of the things are going to be pretty small. So once my advent calendars are done, that is like the next in line. Like I need to get those done. Next holiday gift will be for my mother-in-law, and I will be making her these floral dish towels. I think they're dish towels. They might be like washcloths or like dish cloths or whatever you call them. But I feel like she's going to use them for decor, so I'm just calling them like dish towels. But they're floral. The pattern is from yarnspirations.com. I think the pattern is showing them in like a pinky kind of rosy color. They are like rose towels. But I am planning on making hers in like lavender because she loves purple. And I just think that's going to be so gorgeous. Like I really think like she's the type of person to 1, really appreciate handmade gifts, and 2, just really love floral things. She loves that's just her vibe, okay? And I just think that she's gonna love them. She'll probably put them out on display, and so yeah. And as soon as I saw that pattern, I thought I gotta make that for her. Next up, for my father-in-law, and actually this is probably the next biggest thing, so I'll probably have to start this as soon as I'm done with the hexagon cardigans. But I plan on making my father-in-law a like Mrs. Weasley style crochet sweater. I have made these before. I love the way they come out every single time. Using Lion Brand Heartland yarn for these is amazing. I got the pattern on Etsy. The designer's name, I hope I'm not mispronouncing it, is Megan Nizak. Definitely have this listed down below. This is the pattern here. When I tell you I love this pattern with all of my heart and soul, it is perfect. I think it works out perfect every single time. I think Lion Brand Heartland is the perfect yarn to use for it. And so my father-in-law has never seen Harry Potter. He's not into it like that. But I think that it can be customized. Like anybody could like a sweater like this. It's essentially just a monogram sweatshirt. So I'm gonna make it in like a brown color, make the initial for his last name in like black so it stands out, and it's like a good like winter piece. He's the type of person also to like really appreciate like a handmade gift because I don't know, he's kind of one of those people where it's like he has everything, and like what do you get for somebody that has everything? I don't know, you just make them something special, and he's definitely one to really appreciate it. So I will be making a Weasley style sweater for my father-in-law. Next up, for my mom, I will be making her a gingerbread pillow or like amigurumi, but like kind of big, I guess. My mom likes gingerbread. I love gingerbread too. I think like the 2 aesthetics that I really love for the wintertime when it comes to like decorating and stuff. I'm not too much into like the Santas and the angels. Like I think that stuff is beautiful. It's just not my personal style. I go for the snowman and the gingerbread man. And my mom has like never really decorated for Christmas, but she does like gingerbread men, and so I feel like if I give this to her, she's just gonna keep it out all the time. But yeah, so I'm gonna make my mom a gingerbread man, kind of like similar to the gingerbread pillows that always go viral from like Marshalls or whatever. Like people just make them real popular on like TikTok and stuff. So yeah, I want to make my mom a gingerbread man. And going back to mini stockings, this is kind of one of those like last minute gift type situations, like something small. But for my coworkers at work, and even for like my neighbors, my like direct neighbors, like my neighbor upstairs and my neighbor like right across, you know, we run into them all the time. So I feel like it's kind of nice to give people things when you're like you live so close to each other and you see each other, you say hi and stuff. So I think for all of these people, my coworkers and my neighbors, I'm gonna make them each one mini stocking. So kind of like the same stockings that I'm making for my advent calendars, but just one for each of them. Maybe I'll put like a little piece of candy in it, maybe a small gift card, like I don't know, $5 to wherever. I don't know, like something cheap that you could get for $5, like a coffee or whatever. I don't know. Technically speaking, you can get a $5 gift card to like anywhere, and then it's just like a $5 coupon, right? But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'll put in the little stockings, if anything, because I mean, if anything, the stocking is a gift itself. I am crocheting it. It's going to take a while, and also it can be used as like a little ornament. So yeah, but anyways, that's what I'm gonna make for my neighbors and my coworkers. Something small, but something that still shows that I care. Next up is something that I'm excited for. I am planning on making Bluey and Bingo crochet amigurumis. I was just gonna do Bluey, but I feel like Bluey and Bingo together would be super cute. So I'm gonna make that for our little niece. She's 4 years old. She's very like into Bluey, and so yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, it was Blue's Clues. I love Blue's Clues. I still love Blue's Clues. And so if somebody had crocheted me blue and magenta when I was a kid, I would have died, right? So I am gonna give the little baby Bluey and Bingo, and I feel like that's gonna make her day. She's gonna be so excited. So yes, definitely plan on making those, and I think I'm gonna make them in chenille yarn, so they're nice and like plushy and soft for her. She can cuddle with them if she wants, and yeah, I'm excited about that one. Next up is I plan on crocheting 2 scarves. Now I do not exactly know the style of scarf I want to go for yet. One is gonna be for my grandma, and one is gonna be for my aunt. And so for my aunt, I feel like I'm kind of leaning towards I want to make her like sort of a Hogwarts style scarf, but I want to make it in like NFL colors. She's a super big 49er fan, so I feel like if I make it in like the red and like gold, like as gold as I could possibly get, like probably the gold from Lion Brand Heartland yarn, because that is like a true gold yarn to me. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, or maybe if I could find like a sparkly gold yarn, that'd be cool. But kind of like a Hogwarts style scarf, I think that would be fun for her, but like in her Niner colors. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like it kind of be like similar to Gryffindor, except Gryffindor, I feel like I know it's supposed to be red and gold, but like the gold is kind of like yellow, like bright yellow. So I want to make it more look like the Niner gold, but yeah, that would be for her. And then for my grandma, I'm not sure what style scarf yet. Maybe a velvet scarf, like a black velvet scarf. I feel like she would really love that. My grandma likes to be toasty and like stay warm during the winter. She gets cold very easily, as do I. So you know, I think something that'll keep her nice and warm. She could wrap around her neck, maybe a cowl even, like something like really chunky right here, something like that. So don't have an exact pattern in mind yet, but definitely will. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm going for with these 2 scarves. And also keeping with my aunt, I do want to crochet her one more thing. I want to just crochet her a cat ear beanie, because I love making cat ear beanies. I think if I made it like a split color cat ear beanie in the same color that I make the scarf, that'd be super cute. Like I think that would be like a really cute gift to put together. A cat ear beanie and a scarf in 49er colors. That's like a super cute, like complete gift on its own. So yeah, that's what I plan on doing for her. I also plan on crocheting for my sister-in-law a crochet Snoopy. I actually started a crochet Snoopy a while back, and I've just been so busy lately that I have not like kept up with it. It's not even for my sister-in-law, it's for somebody else. But yes, I need to get back on that, and I would like to make her one as well because she loves peanuts, and so I feel like Snoopy would be like such a cute little character to crochet her. She could just keep it like as a little decoration or something. Definitely also want to make that one in chenille yarn. I think she'll love it. Maybe I'll even put like a little scarf on him, like a little red scarf. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but definitely want to make a crochet Snoopy. I found a Instagram pattern for Snoopy for free, so I'll post like a picture of it here if I can find it. I know I found it a while back. I'll definitely find it somewhere, so it'll be posted right here. But yes, I want to make a crochet Snoopy. I think that would be so adorable. Snoopy is like just one of those classic little characters that's just like always so fun. And the last 2 things on my list that I want to crochet for this year will be for my best friend, and I know that she watches pretty much all my videos, so hey love, you can stop watching right here, okay? Okay, bye, see ya. Toodaloo, love you, kisses. Okay, I think I gave her enough time. She should be gone, and if she's not, well, she's running her own surprise, so I don't care. So my best friend is the queen of making curated gifts. And by that I mean like she'll pick a theme for a gift that she wants to give, and then get just like a bunch of little things, and even crochet, because she crochets too, things that have to do with that theme, and she puts it all together, and it's always so cute and so nice, and I can never compare. I'm like the gift giving queen. It's like my sport. This is like my Olympics, okay? Christmas is my Olympics, but I cannot hold a candle to her when it comes to these curated like gifts. But I am trying to give her run for her money this year. So she loves Coraline, and I thought, okay, I want to want to give her like a little Coraline themed gift, like a bunch of little Coraline things. And what better to crochet her than the Coraline doll with like the button eyes and everything? I think that would be so freaking adorable. I cannot find a good pattern for that yet. I've been looking. I actually, if you want to hear a fun little hot juicy story, I was scrolling through Etsy as one does, and I was looking for a crochet Coraline pattern. And one popped up that was like very intricate, and for some reason the pattern was being sold for $1.79, and I was like, what? Like that's wild. Like I'm gonna buy that like ASAP. It looked really good. But then, thank goodness, I trusted my intuition because I started perusing the shop's other things, their other patterns, and I found a pattern for a zero for Night Before Christmas that I recognized the picture of right away because I bought the pattern from the real crochet artist who made it months and months and months ago. Like actually it's probably been over 2 years at this point that I bought this pattern, so I would know that photo anywhere. What they did was they took the photo of zero and then they just put a different background behind it, and then they're selling the pattern for $1.79, making it seem like it's their own pattern. And I was like, this is not their pattern. Like I knew it. I knew it from the jump. I saw the picture. I was like, I would know that picture anywhere. No. So I reported the listing and I said, no, like this is not this person's work. Like they're profiting off of other people's work. Like I don't like it, whatever. And then I went and I reached out to the Etsy shop owner who I know designed the pattern because I bought it from her. And I let her know. And I was like, hey girl, just want to let you know somebody's out here trying to steal your zero pattern, or they are stealing your zero pattern and selling it for $1.79. And so then that just kind of made me realize, oh, by the way, she was very grateful that I reached out to her and told her that, and she reported their page, and good. And I hope that it gets taken down because like what are you doing out here stealing people's hard work, selling it for less than it's worth, just trying to make a dime off of people? Like I don't know, that's not cool to me in the slightest. So with that being said, I did not purchase that Coraline doll pattern because I was like, no, this is obviously somebody else's stolen pattern and I'm not going to support that. But nonetheless, I will be on the hunt for a good Coraline doll pattern. So if anybody has ever crocheted a Coraline and you have a good pattern for it, please share it with me. Even if it's on Etsy, if I have to pay for it, like cool, that's whatever, you know, just send me the link if you can, or you know, just like let me know where to go look, the name of the shop owner, or if there's a free one out there somewhere that I just haven't seen. I would love to be put on to a good Coraline doll pattern. So yeah, that is what I'm going to crochet for my best friend, and then everything else in her gift I'm going to make like Coraline themed as well. And then lastly is a gift for my bestie's baby. She just had a baby in July, and I love him already. My best friend and I live over 400 miles away from each other, and we like we're both super busy. She's a new mom. I like work all the time, so I have not yet to meet the little baby, my little nephew, but I love him already, and I wanted to crochet him something. And I think for his little gift, I also want to go like a whole theme route. Okay, I really want to show her that I can keep up with her. So for his little gift, I want to make it Harry Potter themed. Since my best friend is a Ravenclaw, I'm just going to go Ravenclaw theme for the whole thing. But so for the crochet aspect of the baby's gift, I want to crochet a little lovey where the top of it is a golden snitch, and then the little blanket part I want to make it in like Ravenclaw colors. And I just think it's going to look so cute, especially if I include like a little, you know, like a Ravenclaw onesie in there, like a little Ravenclaw squishmallow maybe. I don't know, but I just want to make it like a whole little Harry Potter theme for the baby. And I think the golden snitch lovey is going to be like the cutest thing ever. So yes, that is what I'm crocheting for my bestie and her baby. And those were all the things that I am planning on crocheting this year for Christmas. And you know what? I don't want to say planning. Those are all the things that I am crocheting this year for Christmas. I know it's a lot, kind of. I mean, honestly, this is like not even probably half of what I would normally put on my crochet list. But that is how I end up disappointed every year. It's because I don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. And, you know, I let myself down. And so this year I tried to keep it more realistic. I know that maybe it still seems a little bit outlandish that I'm going to be able to get all of this done in this amount of time. But I'm going to try my gall darndest, okay? And every time I complete something, I'm going to post it in my little community tab. And you guys can hype me up about it or whatever. Please let me know what you guys have been working on for the holiday season, what you are gifting people for the holiday season. I know in my crochet hot takes videos, you guys were telling me, some of you were telling me that you were currently working on holiday gifts while watching my video, which is like so, like, that warmed my heart, first of all. Like, working on a crochet project, usually a gift, and watching a YouTube video is like my bread and butter, okay? So to know that you guys are out there working on your holiday gifts while watching me, I'm like, oh my god, okay, hey bestie. Yeah, so I hope I can get all this done in time. I'll keep you guys posted. Please share with me what you're making this year. Oh, there's a little kitty walking outside. It just went under my car. Aw, it's hiding from the rain. I hope everybody is having an amazing start to your holiday season. Thanksgiving is very soon. I think actually by the time my next video goes up after this, Thanksgiving will have already, oh no, it won't have passed. It will be like a few days before Thanksgiving. It'll actually be my birthday, my next video. So, yay! I have a special video planned for that, and I think you guys are going to what? I think you guys are really going to love it. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me on this nice cozy day. I really appreciate you all being here, all your subscribes, your likes, your comments. You guys always make my day. Just thank you so much for being here. I cannot express enough how grateful I am. I know I say it in every video. I'm never going to stop saying it. I'm not, okay? I'm so grateful. I am having such a hard time with language today. Just thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you are having. Please enjoy yourself. Please be safe out there. If you feel like sharing anything with me in a private setting where you want to show me like whatever cute things you're working on for the holiday season, my email is always linked down below, so you can feel free to send me photos and videos there of all your wonderful creations. Appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one.
Da, eu crescut clar. Când am văzut eu cum am spăriet, parcă era absurdiornăi. Parcă chiar l-o ras pe cap. Zic, Seta, dar cum așa de aproape de chele? Deci că nu știu ce s-o primit. Parcă de-am chelea capului se vedea așa de tare. Da, mă bucur. Bine, mami, bun, hai te-am pupat, mă duc să văd. Așa de tare vreau să mă încurajez să mă vopsesc părul, dar sunt cu parcă n-am sportnică să fac. De dimineață nu mă pot, știi, scutura. Am joi, vineri, nu, miercuri, joi și vineri am lucrat la Arena Chișinău și așa au fost de frig, clădirea și e udă, că în fiecare seară am venit bocn acasă și parcă și amuia n-am ceva în oasă. Mă gândesc să beau un teraflu sau ceva. Nu știu, parcă am făcut, dar oricum sunt parcă sunt pălite. Pentru ce? Bine. Mulțumesc, mami. Da, mulțumesc. Bun. Hai, te-am pupat. Da, și era stricat? O, bravo, e ca și-o rezolvat. Hai, te-am pupat. Iau și bine. Așa de repede, la distanță. Vezi ce înseamnă numai cu un apel în zilele de azi. Nu trebuie să te mai cari. Nu trebuie să duci cu televizorul în scenare, nu știu unde. Bun, mă bucur. Hai, dar vă uitați succes și eu vă uitați la televizor. Hai. Okay, how do I tell my relatives I no longer wanna? Hey guys, hello, hi. Oh, sorry. I had to call my mom for an urgent call, but thank you so much for being here with me. I have to go to charge my phone and to do some chores for my mom. Thank you. I'll see you next time. I cannot sit and knit anymore. I have some urgent things to cover, so bye-bye. Okay, hold on. How do I do this?